this video is going to focus on posture and glutes. I've chosen to do this video because in the circumstances we find ourselves in, a lot of people are going to be sitting a lot more than normal, and many people are going to be gardening and building. So what we're going to find is people might start to get backache or general stiffness in their lower back and upper back over the next few weeks. So what we're going to focus on is the psoas muscle. So the psoas muscle is a muscle that comes from around this area here and comes down to your hip. So understandably, when you think about it, when we are standing too much or sitting too much, we end up in a flexed position, which shortens this muscle, overactivates it, shortens or tightens it. So as a result, first off, your glutes cannot fire properly in that position, and secondly, it makes your back very vulnerable. So the other thing that we need to think about with an overactive psoas is it does affect your breathing. So if you look at breathing first, the psoas muscle can have a negative effect on the diaphragm, so pulling you down, which restricts your capacity to breathe properly mechanically. As a result, we will breathe into the top of our lungs using our neck and our chest. This activates the sympathetic nervous system, which we talk about a lot in the yoga class, specifically for golf. And as a result of this, it stresses us out. And in the circumstances we're in right now, we don't necessarily want to do that too much. So from here, I want to talk about posture. So we want to know what a normal setup is. We're going to start with our feet hip width apart. Okay, so your feet are under your hips. You're taking the weight through your big toe, your little toe, and your heel. So again, just that tripod effect. So distributing the weight evenly. You're going to activate your glutes, so you squeeze your glutes, which brings your pelvis more into a neutral position. From there, you're going to take your hips and you're going to rotate them. Now, if you imagine having a piece of paper under your feet and just trying to tear that paper apart, so your feet aren't actually moving, but you can feel the arches in your feet are being lifted, the hips are rotating, which automatically takes the pressure off your lower spine. So from here, we're looking at the ribs. Now, a lot of people will lift their chest, which opens out the ribs. It's called rib flaring. We don't actually want this. What we want is the ribs and the pelvis are kind of coming towards each other by activating the core, so bracing around our core, holding us in position. From here, your shoulders are back and down with your palms facing forward. Then you have your head, your ears should be in line with your shoulders, and you should feel as if your head's been lifted towards the ceiling. This is what we call a normal posture. If you feel uncomfortable in this position, it's because your body does not know this as a normal posture. So it is something that you need to work on. It's nice to practice this every now and again throughout the day if you have the opportunity. Ideally in bare feet, so you can feel what's going on the floor under your feet. So from here, I want to go through a few exercises. First off, we are going to do psoas release. So what you're going to do is come down to kneeling, and then you're going to bring yourself into a low lunge. So you bring your right foot forward, and you want to come over, get your knee in line with your front ankle, and you're feeling a stretch here. From there, you just keep yourself nice and tall. So again, as if your head has been pulled towards the ceiling, so you're getting a nice stretch anywhere from just above your belly button right down to your thigh. You hold that for 30 seconds and relax. And you do that 3 times each side. The next exercise is called couch stretch. So for this, you need a couch, a chair, or something that's basically comfortable to put your ankle on. You take your cushion, you put it on the floor in front of your chair. If we do a right leg stretch, you're going to put your left foot forward, quite a distance in front of the cushion, put your right ankle and foot on the chair, and then you're going to drop your knee down towards the floor and onto the cushion. So you're taking your full weight of your right knee on the cushion. Your left foot is slightly forward, again, just to balance you. The closer your heel is to your right, the more unbalanced you will feel. You want, again, to be nice and tall. You do not want to be leaning forward. If you're leaning forward, you just bring your knees slightly more forward on the cushion until you can stay nice and tall and upright. Again, you'll feel the stretch anywhere from here right up towards your belly button. Okay, this stretch, you want to hold it for 2 minutes. And once you come out of it, you push through your thigh, your front thigh, you walk around, let your right knee settle itself again, and then you go back and you do the other side. So that is your couch stretch, 2 minutes each side. Then we get the block. So if you have a yoga block, that's great. If not, you just want a few books that come to about 3.5 to 4 inches in height. And you want the books to be similar size. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring yourself down to sitting. You're going to lie on your back, lift your bum, put the block or the books under your bum, not your spine, your bum. Then once you have it comfortably under your bum, you straighten both your legs and you put your hands overhead. And you hold this stretch for 2 to 5 minutes. Now initially it might feel uncomfortable because you've spent most of your time in a flexed position throughout the day. So you want to allow your body to settle into this, focusing on your breath. As you exhale, just exhale a second or two longer than your inhale to allow your body to soften. So once you have completed this, you bring your arms back, you bend your knees, lift your bum, take the block away, cross your ankles, bring your knees to your chest and just hug them 10 times. Okay? So from there, we're going to focus on our glutes. So those 3 exercises I've just done will help release and soften the psoas. Once you've done that, you want to activate the glutes, because as I said, if the psoas is overactive, we can't get the glutes firing properly. If you can get your glutes firing properly, you put less pressure on your back. So we're going to lie back down. First exercise is knees bent, and we're going to do the bridge. So your knees are bent, feet are about hip width apart, heels are slightly close to your bum. You lie yourself down, you tuck your tailbone under, and you lift your bum so it's in line with your knees and your shoulders. And you squeeze your glutes at the very end, just to activate them. Feel as if you're squeezing a ball between your knees, so your knees aren't falling out too much, and then slowly back down. Uncurling your spine and your pelvis at the end. So you want to do about 10 of these. So up you come, squeeze your glutes at the end, top of the range. Knees are being pushed into an imaginary ball. And then slowly back down. And you want to do a minimum of 10 of these. Once you've done that, you can come lying on your side. You want your bottom leg bent to give you balance. Top leg is slightly back, so if you're thinking your leg straight down, come slightly back a few inches, turn your toes slightly towards the ceiling and raise your leg just above hip height and down. Now you want to do this exercise nice, slow and controlled. So you're going to raise it and back down. And raise and back down. You should start to feel the muscles in this area here, so your glutes, starting to activate and starting to get a bit sore. Okay? So you want to do 10 each side 3 times of this exercise. From here, you can come onto your front and we will do what we call Supermans, which we have done in other classes that I've put on the video already. So you're going to put your hands under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. You're going to raise your right leg and your left arm. Now this activates your core and it activates your glutes. So squeeze your glutes, raise your arms so you're activating your core, belly button's coming in towards your spine. Hold for a few seconds and then down. And swap sides. So you want to push your heel back, not your toes. Your heel is going back as far as possible. And down. And you're going to do 10 of these at a time. So now we're going to come up to standing and you're going to use your band. So if you have a band, that's perfect. If you have one of those open bands, you just tie it in a knot. And if you have neither, then you can get yourself a pair of tights. And a pair of tights can be knotted and they are fairly effective if you do not have a band. So what you want to do is bring the band above your knees. So just slightly above your knees, and you're going to have your feet hip width apart and you're going to push your knees out. Okay? From this position, you're going to walk 5 sideways to the right, 5 sideways to the left. So all you do is stay in a seated position. If you stand up, it's very easy. If you sit yourself down, it's a lot more uncomfortable. So you sit as low as you can, and then you take your right foot, keeping your knees out all the time, bring your right foot out to the side, and then bring your left foot in. Bring your right foot out to the side, and left foot in. So you want to do 5 each way. So when you go to your left, left out to the side, keeping the knee out, right comes to meet it. Left out to the side, right comes to meet it. So when you've done 5 each way, I want you to walk forward for 5. So again, knees go out, you bring your left foot out, and your right foot out. Left foot out, staying seated, and your right. Left, and then we're going to reverse so I don't run out of camera room. You're going to bring your left leg back, keeping your knees out, and right. Left, and right. Left, and right. Now by now you should really feel those glutes starting to work hard. And again, you want to do 5 each way, so side to side and front and back. If you can manage 10, great, but you just want to start activating those muscles. So the last exercise I'm going to recommend for the glutes is getting yourself to a chair. Stand with your calves against the chair, and then take a step forward. Not a massive step, just a normal step. And from there, you're going to sit down. Okay, so bearing in mind you've taken a step, so the seat is not directly behind you. So you're going to have to sit your bum down to touch the chair and back up. So what this does makes the squat more glutes and hamstring dominant rather than quads. Because if you come down with your knees over your toes, you're going to become more quads dominant. We want to activate the glutes. So we're going to sit down, touch the seat, and then back up. And what you will find is your glutes work a lot harder than your quads. The other thing you want to do with this is you want to have your knees out all the time. You do not want to let your knees fall in. So your knees are out, feet are facing forward, and you sit down and back up. And ideally, you want to complete 10 of these. Nice, slow, and controlled. So completing the releasing of the psoas, I would do the block definitely every evening before you go to bed if you're feeling quite achy. And the glute activation I would do at least once or twice a day, again if you're feeling achy and stiff, because remember we're in very random circumstances and we will be overdoing it in certain situations and underdoing it. Both of these circumstances will cause flexion in the spine in general, so you want to try as much as you can, focus on your posture, feel what normal is, and then do any exercises that you find most helpful for you that we've shown you. Any issues, as always, just let me know. Thank you.